That's why TD Jakes was there, to try to fix his image.
You know, TD Jakes is known for his powerful sermons and unshakable faith, and he's inspired so many people around the globe. But here's something interesting. There's another side to this story that you might not have heard about. According to Diddy's former bodyguard, there are some surprising revelations that could change how we see things. So, what did he see? And why is he willing to take such a risk to speak out? Stick around, because we're about to dive into some eye-opening details. Before we get into all that, let's chat about the connection between TD Jakes and Diddy. It's pretty well known that these two have teamed up in some really exciting ways. Their partnership started to gain attention in 2022 when Jakes joined forces with Diddy's Revolt TV for a series called Kingdom Culture with TD Jakes. Through this show, Jakes wanted to reach people beyond the church walls and share his message with a broader audience. It was a fresh, dynamic partnership that combined Jakes' faith-based influence with Diddy's media savvy. But it wasn't just a business thing. Their friendship deepened over time. They've supported each other through some important moments. Remember when Diddy got the BET Lifetime Achievement Award? Instead of just thanking the usual crowd, he took a moment to mention TD Jakes by name. That was a big deal and really brought their connection into the spotlight. They even started showing up at each other's big events, like birthdays, which got people buzzing about what their relationship was really like. Now fast forward to 2024, and things have taken quite a turn. With all the rumors flying around, both TD Jakes and Diddy are in the thick of it. What's really going on behind the scenes? What surprises are in store for us? Let's dig into this mystery surrounding these two influential figures and find out what could change everything. All right, let's dive into this wild ride together. You won't believe what's been happening. Serious allegations have set social media on fire with some pretty explosive claims about TD Jakes stepping down from his role as senior pastor at the Potter's House in Dallas. So what's the buzz? Well, rumor has it that his resignation might be linked to none other than Diddy. Yep, you heard that right. These jaw-dropping claims have been spreading like wildfire on TikTok and YouTube, hinting that Jakes could be tangled up in Diddy's legal mess. Now let's fast forward to March 2024, and things are getting even crazier. Reports have surfaced about federal investigations into Diddy, with Homeland Security agents swooping in to search his properties in Los Angeles and Miami as part of a much bigger inquiry. This is no ordinary rumor mill. It's a whole complex saga with multiple civil lawsuits from folks claiming Diddy has done them wrong. While he hadn't faced any charges yet, the spotlight on him was intense, and it cast a big shadow on everyone connected to him, including TD Jakes. In an effort to set the record straight, Diddy jumped on social media to firmly deny all allegations, calling them baseless and harmful. But instead of calming things down, it just stoked the flames. People started connecting the dots between him and Jakes, and TikTok exploded with videos dissecting everything they could find, from casual birthday party clips of T. Jakes at Diddy's events to whispers about secret meetups. And here's where it gets even juicier. One lawsuit filed by Lil Rod Jones claims he has solid evidence that Diddy was looking to use his relationship with TD Jakes to boost his public image during all this chaos. Could it be that their partnership was about more than just spirituality? This revelation is definitely raising some eyebrows and hints at a strategic connection between the two. And we can't ignore the viral video evidence floating around online. In one particularly revealing clip, TD Jakes, "Hey, have you heard what happened at Diddy's birthday party?" There's a video floating around of TD Jakes singing Happy Birthday. And while it might seem like a cute moment, the timing has sparked all sorts of speculation about what's really going on between him and Diddy. And it doesn't stop there. Another video popped up of them together, smiling and posing for the camera in yet another public spot. Derek Williams, who's with TD Jakes Entertainment, explained that Jakes was just in Los Angeles for some business and wanted to show Diddy some respect because of their working relationship. But honestly, not everyone bought that story, and the rumors just kept growing. So, in the middle of all this buzz, TD Jakes decided to address the rumors head-on during a Christmas Eve service. He was really firm about it, saying that no lies would steer him off course. He told his congregation that even if there was any truth to what people were saying, he'd just ask for forgiveness and keep doing his ministry. His message focused on faith and moving forward, making it clear he had nothing to be sorry for. After his heartfelt speech, his spokesperson, Jordan A.H., jumped in to call the rumors baseless, pointing out how quickly lies can spread in today's world. He even threw in a quote about the speed of misinformation, really highlighting how the truth can get lost in all the noise. But despite those denials, a lot of folks still felt skeptical. For many, the connection between Diddy and Jakes seemed like part of a bigger, more complicated story that's just waiting to unfold. And Diddy? He's not backing down. He's leaning into his faith and sharing messages about staying steady during tough times. A bunch of his posts have featured TD Jakes' voice, adding a spiritual vibe to his public persona. There's this one video where he's standing on a beach, arms wide open, with Jakes' encouraging words playing in the background, pushing him to stay strong through life's ups and downs. But even those positive posts stirred up mixed reactions, leaving everyone curious about what's really going on behind the scenes. So have you seen all the chatter about Diddy lately? People are really divided on his posts. Some are saying he's just looking for spiritual cover during tough times, while others are cheering him on and telling him to stay strong. It's created quite the buzz online. There's even this TikTok user who claimed that TD Jakes has been showing up at Diddy's private gatherings. That sparked a ton of theories and discussions. The user even hinted that a former mentee of Jakes, who's now a pretty well-known figure, might come forward with his own story. But so far, none of this has been confirmed by anyone involved, so the controversy is still up in the air. In a 2023 interview, Diddy's former bodyguard, Jeannie Deal, shared some pretty surprising insights about the connection between TD Jakes and Diddy. When he was asked what he thought about it, he didn't hold back. Deal was a bit concerned about seeing a respected religious leader like TD Jakes in places that just don't fit the typical image of a spiritual guide. It really makes you wonder, right? How do you reconcile faith with the kind of parties Diddy throws? Deal talked about how he grew up with a clear line between saints and sinners. From his perspective, TD Jakes, being such a prominent figure in the church, seemed to be crossing that line by attending Diddy's parties. He wasn't saying Jakes was doing anything wrong, but he did highlight how confusing the situation looks. Diddy's notorious parties are known for being extravagant and wild, which makes it tough for someone like Deal, who has a religious background, to wrap their head around the idea of a man of faith being part of that scene. He went on to share some wild stories from his time working for Diddy. He painted a picture of those infamous white parties, especially the ones in the Hamptons, as being pretty chaotic. Over the years, he noticed how the parties shifted from having some sort of control to becoming full-blown extravaganzas. In the beginning, there was at least an effort to keep things somewhat in check, but now, it feels like anything goes. So what does that mean for everyone involved? And what do the rest of us think about it all? You know, behind all the glitz and glam of those high-profile events, there's a whole world we don't usually see, where whispered secrets and private rooms tell their own stories. But as the years went on, things really started to shift. According to Deal, what used to be kept under wraps is now out in the open, and it's definitely raising some eyebrows. One big question on everyone's mind is, what exactly was TD Jakes doing at these notorious gatherings? Deal has a few ideas. Maybe TD Jakes was there for business, considering his ties with Revolt, Diddy's media company. Or perhaps he was just trying to offer some spiritual guidance, saving some souls in the midst of the chaos. But here's the thing. Deal feels like TD Jakes being there doesn't really look good for the Christian community, especially with the kind of parties Diddy throws. One of the more shocking things Deal mentioned is that TD Jakes' attendance could suggest he's got a deeper involvement in all this. I mean, how can a respected pastor keep showing up if he's not somehow part of what's going on? That definitely raises a few eyebrows. Is there more to the story? The idea of a well-known spiritual leader hanging out at Diddy's parties is sure to get people talking. And it doesn't stop there. Deal also dove into TD Jakes' personal life, dropping some interesting details about his family. He brought up a time when one of TD Jakes' sons had a run-in with the law in Dallas, at a spot known for less than savory activities related to the LGBTQ+ community. To top it off, Deal claims that TD Jakes' 2 adopted sons might be part of that same scene. These bits of info really complicate the image of a spiritual leader, showing a bit of a disconnect between his public persona and what's happening behind closed doors. As they talked more, Deal didn't hold back on sharing his own experiences with Diddy. He reflected on how Diddy's habits changed over time, particularly with substance use. At first, Deal never saw Diddy smoke or use drugs, but that all shifted once Diddy started taking painkillers. From that point on, things got darker, with Diddy drinking more heavily and trying out other substances. So, what does all this mean for the folks at the center of these swirling rumors? As the story continues to unfold, it really makes you question the integrity of those who are often seen as leaders and role models. You know, it's kind of wild when you think about Diddy. While he wasn't exactly out there doing drugs like cocaine in front of Deal, he definitely made sure they were easily accessible for his crew. That raises some eyebrows, especially when you consider his connection with TD Jakes. From Deal's point of view, it seemed like Diddy was really trying hard to clean up his image. And what better way to do that than by hanging out with someone like TD Jakes, right? I mean, he's a respected pastor, perfect for boosting that public perception. But here's the thing. Deal said TD Jakes wasn't just a friendly face. He played a big part in how Diddy managed his image. That really makes you wonder, what's a well-known spiritual leader doing in the flashy, sometimes messy world of celebrity parties? And it's not just Deal saying this. Lil Rod, who was actually in the middle of a lawsuit against Diddy, had some thoughts too. He mentioned that there might even be video evidence out there showing some of the craziness at Diddy's parties. While he didn't go deep into how TD Jakes was involved, he hinted that their relationship was more about shaping Diddy's public persona than just friendship. Thinking back on his time with Diddy, Lil Rod said Diddy was always focused on keeping up a certain reputation, even when his actions didn't quite match. At first, Diddy wasn't into drugs himself, but he made sure everyone around him had whatever they wanted: alcohol, drugs, you name it. It was all about keeping his circle well-stocked, even if he wasn't partaking. As the story goes on, you start to see how Diddy's behavior changed over time. He went from being careful to relying on painkillers and drinking more. That shift really paints a troubling picture, especially when you consider TD Jakes' role as a pastor. Both Deal and Lil Rod seem to point to the same conclusion. TD Jakes' connection with Diddy isn't just interesting, it's pretty complicated and honestly a bit concerning. You know, when you think about Diddy, a whole bunch of questions pop up that aren't exactly easy to tackle, whether they're about his business moves or something else entirely. For someone like TD Jakes, the situation looks a bit sketchy. Just being seen in Diddy's circle can raise some eyebrows. It's got folks like Gene Deal scratching their heads, wondering why a man of faith would choose to stay connected to that kind of scene. Is it just personal connections and business deals, or is there something deeper at play when it comes to the integrity of religious leadership? No matter where you land on this, the big questions remain. Why is TD Jakes getting close to Diddy, and what does that say about both of them? And let's be real, TD Jakes has his share of controversies. Over the years, he's caught flack for various parts of his personal life, family issues, financial decisions, and his evolving take on LGBTQ+ rights. These debates have stirred the pot, leaving many to wonder what his ministry is really about and what choices he's making. One of the biggest controversies swirling around TD Jakes is the talk about inappropriate behavior. There are whispers that he's been involved in some questionable relationships in the entertainment world. While these allegations are still just that, allegations, they definitely add to the cloud of rumors that seems to follow him. Plus, his views on LGBTQ+ issues have put him right in the middle of some heated discussions. Traditionally, he's held conservative views, even referring to homosexuality as a brokenness. But what's really interesting is that in a 2015 interview, he hinted that he might be changing his tune. What does that mean for his followers and the bigger conversation? You know, TD Jakes has really stirred the pot lately. There's been some chatter that he might be changing his approach to ministering to gay individuals, which has led a lot of folks to wonder if he's softening his views on same-sex marriage. Not long after that buzz started, he jumped on social media to set the record straight, saying his beliefs about marriage are still rooted in Scripture, even though he respects the legal rights of others. This sparked a mixed bag of reactions. Some fans are praising him for being more inclusive, while others feel he's straying from the biblical principles he used to stand by pretty firmly. But hold on, that's not all. There's a lot more going on with TD Jakes and his family. His son, Jermaine, hit the headlines back in 2009 when he was arrested for indecent exposure in a Dallas park during an undercover operation. That definitely raised some eyebrows and got people talking about how this affects TD Jakes' image as a spiritual leader. Then there's his daughter, who made news when she had a baby at just 13. It's a tough situation, but it brought up a lot of discussions about family values and the struggles that come with being part of a famous family. And if you think that's wild, there's been some recent drama connecting TD Jakes to the entertainment industry. In a song, rapper Mal, who used to be with Diddy's Bad Boy label, claims there's a secret arrangement between Diddy and TD Jakes. Mal has been vocal about feeling like Diddy owes him money and has kept his publishing rights from him. He even raps about this supposed deal in his track, suggesting it might be tied to his financial issues with Diddy. Can you believe it? Then there's this donation from Diddy back in 2014 to TD Jakes' church, the Potter's House, where Diddy pledged a staggering $1 million, saying he was inspired by TD Jakes' sermons and wanted to support the ministry. Sounds nice, right? Of course, some people are questioning whether there's more to it, especially with Maz's allegations still in the air. The whole relationship between Diddy and TD Jakes remains pretty murky, and neither of them has really addressed the rumors, which just adds to the intrigue. Plus, TD Jakes has been linked to a bunch of other celebrities who pop up in legal documents related to Diddy's ongoing issues. These filings reveal quite the web of connections, showing just how intertwined Diddy's network really is. So what does all this mean for TD Jakes and his ministry? The conversation is just heating up, and honestly, it's hard to look away. The recent court documents shed light on individuals allegedly connected to the controversial parties and events hosted by Diddy. Among those mentioned is Stevie J, a well-known music producer and reality TV personality. Stevie J has long been a prominent figure in the music industry, collaborating with top artists and establishing a significant reputation. His name appearing in the filings suggests he may have attended or been involved in some of Diddy's gatherings, which are now under scrutiny. The documents also reference a Philadelphia-based rapper rumored to have dated Nicki Minaj, although his identity remains undisclosed. Notably, many details in the filings about various artists are intentionally vague, which only fuels speculation. Another individual mentioned is a Grammy-winning R&B singer whose name has been redacted, but is described as having had an incident involving a Beijing multimillionaire that attracted police attention. Other surprising names have emerged from the filings, indicating that Diddy's social circle includes a wide range of figures, from celebrities to political and international personalities. Young Miami, a rapper and member of the hip-hop duo City Girls, is listed, which is perhaps expected given her public association with Diddy. Additionally, the mention of Prince Harry adds an intriguing layer to the situation, raising eyebrows among observers. The filings also include Cassie Ventura, a former singer and model who was romantically linked to Diddy for over a decade. Her presence in these documents suggests she was a notable figure within Diddy's inner circle. The complexity of their relationship, especially following their public split, adds another dimension to the narrative. Interestingly, the legendary gospel group the Clark Sisters is also mentioned, known for their uplifting and inspirational music. Their inclusion contrasts with many of the other names in the documents, indicating a diverse array of individuals associated with Diddy. So, it turns out that some recent court documents have uncovered a pretty surprising web of connections to Diddy. It's definitely raising eyebrows and sparking a lot of curiosity. The details are still a bit fuzzy, but they hint at the interesting mix of people who have been at Diddy's legendary gatherings. I mean, did all these high-profile figures just happen to be hanging out? Or were they more involved than we think? The uncertainty just makes you wonder about the range of folks who have crossed paths with this music mogul. One of the most jaw-dropping bits is about Diddy's so-called freak-off parties, known for their wild performances. There are allegations that he recorded some attendees without them even knowing it. Can you imagine? Court filings claim that a bunch of celebrities, artists, label execs, and athletes were caught on camera doing questionable things, often completely unaware they were being filmed. That really raises some big questions about privacy and trust in Diddy's circle. Over the years, his parties have become the stuff of legends, especially those famous white parties in the Hamptons. We're talking about A-listers like Jennifer Lopez, Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Sarah Jessica Parker, all in one place. These gatherings were all about glamour and exclusivity, showing just how much influence Diddy has. But now, with these new allegations coming to light, those once glamorous parties are starting to look a bit different. The lawsuit suggests they weren't just casual hangouts. They might have been carefully staged events that could lead to serious legal trouble for some guests. The idea of recording people without their consent is pretty chilling. For years, Diddy's parties were the ultimate in luxury, but now they're starting to seem like risky ventures, especially if your actions could be caught on camera without you knowing. And while there are plenty of names popping up in connection with Diddy, none of the celebrities have spoken out yet, leaving everyone in suspense. The list of people linked to him is huge, and with every new detail, we get a slightly clearer, yet still complex, look into this world of power, secrecy, and influence. These filings give us a fascinating peek into a network that's as intriguing as it is mysterious. And with so many big names involved and TD Jakes making a surprising appearance, the speculation is only going to keep growing. What all these connections mean, and how deep they go. Well, that's still anyone's guess, but it's definitely keeping people